What's up everyone and welcome back to A&R Gaming. We have another top 10 tips and trick videos for you today, and this one's going to be all about the new hit game SINoALICE. This game has been out for a while in other regions, but we're finally going to be getting the global launch in just a few hours. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to be ready with all of the new tips and tricks that are going to be coming out and other videos that we're going to be doing for this game. So let's just go ahead and hop right in with the first tip. And that's going to be characters don't matter. So most people, they all, just like any other gacha game, they worry about the tier list for the characters. In this game, it's a little different. It's not the tier list for the characters that you have to worry about. Weapons are the big distinguisher in this game. Characters, since especially they can play multiple jobs and everything like that, really what it comes down to is pick whatever character you like. That's going to be totally fine. The weapons are the big part here that you want to pay attention for, so don't worry about who you pick at the very beginning or anything like that. Just go with who you like for now, and you'll be totally set. Alright, but speaking of weapons, that's tip number 2. So let's talk a little bit about the weapons. So there are a couple different grades of weapons. So you have C, then B, then A, then S, then double S, and then L. C and B are basically, like, you don't want to put resources into C or B. You can put resources into A or above. Now, A is going to be able to upgrade to S or potentially even SS on some. And then you have S, which could be upgraded to SS, and then SS, which can be upgraded into L. So whenever you're deciding what you put your resources into, I know it's very tempting at the very beginning to start sinking your resources into something as soon as possible to feel very powerful. But trust me, you want to hold off until you at least get an A. You don't want to put in resources anything other than A or above. So just make sure if you do that and you put something in lower, you're going to be wasting a lot of stuff that you're going to regret later on. All right, tip number 3. So this one's going to be, don't invest in just one weapon. Just like so many other games, I know it's tempting to invest in one specific character that you think is going to carry you. And in this game, that translates to one specific weapon that you think is going to carry you. But that's not the case. You need a well-rounded group of weapons, because if you just have everything attached to one weapon, considering how combat works in this game and the resource bar that you use whenever you are attacking, the SP bar, you're only really going to be able to be using one attack. So that is not good for this game, and that really puts you in a vulnerable spot during combat, so which can actually be quite intricate in this game. So you do want to be careful. Don't invest in just one weapon. Make sure that you spread it out. Now you can invest in a little bit more for one weapon, but just don't put all of your eggs in that one basket. All right, tip number 4, min-max your combat. So whenever you are attacking, you really want to be tactical in this game. There's a lot of nuances in this game that you want to pay attention to. A lot of people, especially in kind of these kind of gacha games, like they just think that they'll throw it on auto, or they'll just, you know, hit whatever highlighted button is available to them. Not in this game. You don't just want to be sitting there pressing all of your attacks as soon as they pop up. You need to be strategic in this, because things like elemental damage, AoE versus single target, buffs, debuffs, heals, all of that kind of stuff really come into play in this game. You have to be active whenever you are playing in combat. So make sure that you pay attention to what's going on in combat, and that you're using the appropriate skills at the appropriate time. All right, tip number 5 for purifications. Make sure that you drag your finger. So you want to tap on the screen and drag your finger through the enemies. You don't just want to tap on each enemy. That takes more time. So the most efficient way to do it is to drag your finger in a line, basically, through the enemies. That will make things a lot easier for you. Trust me, it took a while before I even realized that I could do that, but I'm telling you right now, save you some time. You can do it, and it will really help you out. All right, tip number 6 is going to be your ultimates and purifications. Now, a lot of people, they like to save up their ultimate and purifications, and they think that they're going to use it all in one big room. And then, but the problem with that is that usually you're waiting to figure out what that big room is going to be. So you can be a little bit apprehensive whenever you even do decide to finally use it. But it's better off if you just use your ultimate as soon as it's up, because chances are the net amount of kills that you're going to get by basically doing 2 ultimates versus 1 is going to be more. So you're better off just going ahead and using it whenever it's up, even if it's a smaller room, because overall it's going to help you out a lot more. All right, tip number 7 is going to be about guilds. Now, the next few tips are actually going to be about guilds because there's several things about this game and guilds specifically. So SINoALICE has a great community. I know that guilds can be kind of tough in gacha gaming and mobile gaming in general, but they really do have a really good community built in behind it, and there's a lot of experienced players because this game has been out in other regions for a good while. So this is not a bad game to do, to focus on guilds on. That being said, it doesn't take, you do get a lot of rewards whenever you do it. You can play it solo, you don't need to be in a guild, but you do get rewards. So definitely hop into a guild as soon as you are able to. Basically, you can unlock it after chapter 2 of the main story with any character, and you can only have a max of 15 people in a guild, at least as of right now. So we'll talk about why in just a second, and that is because tip number 8, you basically are setting up for guild PvP, and that's called the Coliseum. All right, and so for guild PvP, there is only 15, there's people that can play in a guild PvP at a time, and it's no coincidence that you can only have a max of 15 people in a guild. So basically that means everyone has to be active and playing, which also means that if someone is slacking in how often they play versus the other people in your guild, it will be noticed very quickly. So whenever you're making these guilds, you do have to think a little bit more carefully about the people that you're getting involved with in the guild versus a lot of other guilds where there's, you know, far more people than the cap of whatever mode you're playing for guild. So you do want to just try to stick with people that are more around your experience level and have similar times to play, and as far as if they're easygoing or they're hardcore or whatever. So do be careful about who you end up guilding up with. Number 9, this is definitely a big thing here. You want to make sure that the guild that you're in is in a similar time zone than you, because if you don't, in this game, like I mentioned before, with 15 people, it can be very difficult and things can get bad quick, because guilds matter in this game. Playing the Coliseum matters in this game. You get lots of rewards, and no one wants to be stuck with someone who won't participate. So you definitely want to think about that whenever you're, deciding, once again, who to guild up with, but especially match up your time zones before you do, to make sure that everyone can conveniently get online at the right times and no one's having to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, tip number 10. Now this one is a biggie. This one's very confusing. So there are half nightmares and then there are nightmares in this game. People get them confused quite a bit, understandably so, but they are not the same thing. They are not even close to the same thing, despite what you would think. It's actually quite counterintuitive. So half nightmares are basically the specialty jobs for characters, and they typically have pros and cons. And for like some characters, it could be, like a huge percentage boost to a specific type of damage, a specific type of weapon damage. But then it usually will negate like a decent bit from the other weapon types. But that's what half nightmares are. They basically are specialties for specific characters, right? And then nightmares are different. Nightmares are basically these little creatures, these friendly units that you can use that give extra effects. So totally different things. I don't know why they named them like that. It is very confusing, but just pay attention. Those are not the same things, and you just kind of have to learn the jargon of this game in order to get past it. All right, last thing is going to be, everyone knows I like to throw in a little bonus tip if you made it this far. So the bonus tip for this one is just really a kind of simple thing. This game is very free-to-play friendly. There are some pay-to-win aspects, of course, just like in any mobile game, especially gacha mobile games, but far more so than other games. This game is very free-to-play. So you're going to have a really good time coasting if you want to play free-to-play. you know, buying in this game doesn't net you that much unless you're spending a ridiculous amount of money. So you don't have to worry too terribly much about that, about falling behind or anything like that, because there are lots of games where that happens and you don't want to invest a lot of time in something that you find out that you'll just never be able to hold your own position in. This is not that game. This game is very free-to-play friendly. And the prices are not that bad, actually, if you do want to go ahead and invest some money in the game. And especially it's going to be that way for global launch. They usually always have specials. You know, we don't know 100%, but definitely check out the bundles that they're probably going to be giving away whenever the game first launches. So that is all of the tips, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to put some more tips. If you guys have things that I didn't mention here or more in-depth things, go ahead and put those in the comments, because everything helps and people will be reading those comments. So if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you want to stay up to date with more videos that are going to be coming out. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So game on.